Well, as the years pile on and we seek to fend off Father Time, we have always been one of the betters to note perhaps this phrase, which I like: better health through better technology. Something which a lot of people don't or won't consider. Frankly, it scares a lot of people who don't understand how modern medicine works. Let's change that. Our guest is director of the Westside Cancer Center at the University of Southern California, director at USC's Center for Applied Molecular Medicine, and author of The Lucky Years: How to Thrive in the Brave New World of Health. Let's welcome Dr. David Agus to the Hardline. Dr. Agus, thanks so much for being here. And when I look at this book and I start to think, I see the words medical technologies that come out and strike me. And there's an awful lot of it out there. People don't get it. They don't understand it. And they're scared of it. I know my parents are still scared of it. So how do we make people not so frightened of all this technology?
Well, it's an amazing time, what we call the lucky years, where literally every week there's a new breakthrough happening. And we all have to adapt and learn about them to benefit from them. So technology isn't made to be scary. Technology is actually the great equalizer. And it can range from things like just even monitoring your blood pressure at home to some of the more sophisticated technology, including looking at proteins and genes to understand disease.
But why is it that people still fear it? I mean, it almost seems as if at times they still believe that the Terminator is going to walk through the door sometimes at the hospital and say, here, we're going to give you something here that will now make you more mechanical. I know that as you get older, people just don't want to deal with the technology. They're scared of it.
But you are afraid of things you don't understand and afraid of things you can't control. And in addition, on the health side, there's an added benefit or a detriment here, is that people are afraid of that their data can get out there. Whenever I use a technology, somebody's going to learn about me. My data will get out there. We're hearing about break-ins at the Blue Crosses of the world, and we're all afraid that our data will leak out. We have to get over that. Technology has the ability of radically transforming our lives if used correctly by each of us.
Don't the doctors themselves have to really do a better job explaining it to patients and in many senses not be so clinical? They're forced into a lot of it simply by the insurance regulations these days. But isn't that part of it, that one-on-one with the patient, that'll make it better understandable?
One-on-one with the patient is the key thing here, right? I mean, it's a conversation back and forth. Yet, when you really look at technologies, doctors are stubborn. It takes about a dozen years for 50% of doctors to adopt a new technology. So I really believe in these lucky years, the technology will change from the ground up. And that is, people are going to read about it, see it on TV, and then start to push their doctors and ask about it. It's a different era in medicine. It is no longer top down. Doctors aren't in charge. I think the power has shifted to the individual, to the patient, to the consumer. And that's a good thing.
I got about 90 seconds left. Out of the things that you detail in the lucky years, what's the one or two technological things that are here, that are now, that people of every age need to take advantage of to make their life better?
I think we have many things happening now. The first is big data. So from big data, we're learning how to sleep better, how to take care of ourselves. All these enormous trends happening. Number two is remarkable advances in treating diseases like cancer and other, harnessing the immune system, harnessing the idea of sequencing DNA to know where to target. And at the same time, we're hitting many other diseases. We're learning, for example, how bacteria, you have tenfold more bacteria in you than human cells in you, and they control your metabolism, how you absorb food, and the role, for example, of artificial sweeteners in changing them and pushing us to diabetes. It is a radically changing time that we all need to pay attention to and to benefit from. It's exciting.
Dr. Agus, I got about 30 seconds left. You have one of the things here that you note, which will drive this book to multi-zillion sales and make everybody lose weight effortlessly without a trendy diet. If they nail that one down, Dr. Agus, then America changes overnight.
It's been done. So it's amazing. And so first with artificial sweeteners, right? They were the perfect food. They hit your sweet tooth and they weren't absorbed, so there was 0 calories. They gave them to 20-year-olds for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, they all had markers of diabetes elevated. Then they gave them antibiotics, no diabetes markers. What happened is the artificial sweeteners changed the bacteria in your GI tract to push you to diabetes. So much so they control your metabolism that if you take a fat person and give their bacteria to a skinny mouse, it gains weight. And the inverse is true also. So very exciting that bacteria are going to be used now to control metabolism, control our weight, and diabetes.
We're out of time, unfortunately, but want to remind everybody, the book again is The Lucky Years: How to Thrive in the Brave New World of Health. Better health through better technology. Go out and learn about it. Thank you, Dr. David Agus, and the Hardline continues.